Hi friends, it's Kayla. Welcome to another short reading vlog where my TBRs decided in a silly way. I do all these super long, ambitious videos where I read like 5 to 10 books over a week or two, and I make it into a big themed video. If you're new here, I'll link some down below. But I've been finding it fun to also do some shorter ones. Like this concept could completely turn into a couple week-long thing, just like the Wordle one could have. But instead, I'm just gonna hang out with you for 2 days. We've got 48 hours together. Start the clock. It's midday Friday. I'm gonna wrap this up midday Sunday. And my entire TBR this weekend is going to be decided by this. I was tagged in this post and then I just immediately decided I was gonna buy it. It's called the Ultimate Reading Challenge. Complete a goal, open an envelope, and reveal your bookish prize. I think it's gonna be a little silly. Like this is more so something you would gift like the teen reader in your life. Also somebody who needs encouragement to like pick up a book, like because this makes it into a game. But I just had to buy it and see what it's all about. And I actually haven't looked inside. I have no idea what the challenges are. But what I thought I would do is I would open this up and I would just close my eyes and point to one of these little pockets and have to complete that challenge. And then once I'm done reading the book that I choose for that challenge, then I can open the envelope and get my prize. And maybe Liam can participate because he's home today. He has a long weekend from school. So I think a lot of things are gonna happen in this video. We're gonna hang out, we're gonna read, we're gonna get him to pick something to read. I think some packages are going to be delivered today. They're very exciting. I'm going to organize my bookshelves, which is arguably the most necessary thing I need to do with my life this weekend. And yeah, I don't actually think, I briefly saw a couple of the challenges in that post, and I don't think all of them are like, read a book with this. I think some of them are like activities. I don't know, like read a book outside or cook a meal inspired by a book or something like that. There are 25 plus rewards, including bookmarks, note cards, book plates, coasters, and more. This was $40. So my opinion remains with this type of thing, just like with book boxes, advent calendars, that the items themselves, you can't expect to total $40. That's Canadian. American, this is $30, but it's about the experience. And like I said, I think this is something that is far more likely to be gifted than someone just buying for themselves. But my local indie had it, so I know it's broadly available. Should we just open one? I feel like I should have started filming in front of my TBR shelf so we can look at my books while I pick the challenges. At this point, I've barely scratched the surface of my spring TBR, so I kind of want to see if I can read, like maybe I'm gonna pick the shortest books if it's conducive to the challenge, try to get some audiobooks in there, and just try to read as many books as I can in this 48 hours. I think that's the actual challenge. So we're gonna begin. I'm nervous! Okay, you can see them all, but I don't know what any of these are, and I can't read them from here, so I can keep my eyes open. I think I wanna pick a pink one first. So we have this one, this one, this one. That's kind of orange. Do I want a big packet or a little packet? This one is speaking to me right here. What is it? Read in a place you've never read before. Okay, so that's not a book challenge. So I can actually perhaps pick another challenge and make them combined. Hopefully there are reading challenges in here that aren't activity based. I just kind of assumed they were gonna be book related, like read a historical fiction or read from an author from a different country, but I could be wrong. Okay, with the pink one, I'm gonna pair it with, I know it looks like I'm reading them, like I really can't see. Also, my contacts are causing me a lot of trouble right now, and actually everything's a little bit blurry. I like this one because I want to know what's inside it. So the green one is read a book that features an Indigenous person. Perfect. There are challenges that have to do with the book itself. So I'm gonna read, oh, I didn't even realize how big that was when I thought it was smaller. This is definitely a bookmark. Okay, so I need to read a book with an Indigenous character. I would prefer to read a book from an Indigenous author, but I don't think I have any books with Indigenous characters that aren't also from Indigenous authors. So I am going to accomplish that. Read it somewhere I've never read before? No. Why was my first thought like in my closet? That's the only place I can really think of. I have a very tiny house and I'm not going outside right now. I guess I could go for a walk, but I'd have to go on a walk I've never done before because I listen to audiobooks when I go walking. Okay, I actually, let me just gaze because I have a book from the library. This library stack, you might be able to see, is getting a little out of hand, but this one is called Noopeming by Leanne Bettesimoke Simpson. I've read from this author before. Actually, let me grab it. Just because this is a collection of stories I really recommend. It's called This Accident of Being Lost. So I recently picked up this one. I think it was something I had reserved last year and it just came in this week. I do have other ones to choose from that are on my TBR and not borrowed. So like I do have options, but this one first came to mind because I flipped through it and there's actually a lot of pages that don't have much on it. And then when I grabbed the audiobook was unexpectedly short. It's only a couple hours. So actually, yeah, I'm gonna kick off my day with this. We're gonna go for, kick off my day, it's halfway through the day. But we're gonna go for a walk together. I probably won't be able to listen to too much of this, but maybe also I'll do a bit of a drive. So then Liam will wanna just like look at his phone while we drive and I can listen to my audiobook. But we'll have to go for a walk we've never been before. That'll make for an interesting vlog clip. Thank you to this channel, and then we can find out what's in the pockets. Okay, be right back. Okay, don't mind how dirty my vehicle is. This is an interesting story. It's very interestingly told, and I can already tell you it's going to be a struggle to like review this or discuss the plot when I'm done. Basically, there's this book in the 1850s, one of the, I think, first like Canadian books written by a woman or something like that. Susanna Moodie wrote this book. She was like a beloved author at her time. And she wrote a book called Roughing It in the Bush that ended up being like really anti-Indigenous and anti-Black, where she tried to like talk about the immigrant experience, but it was through a very like specific privileged lens, and a lot of people have taken issue with it since. And this is kind of a response to it. I don't think there's going to be really mentions like of the book at all, or her, or actually any like white characters. This is Indigenous lit that doesn't cater to like the white Western like colonizer lens. So I was gonna say this might not be a good intro for some people, but this is actually a great intro to people for Indigenous lit who haven't read it before. It very much centers the Anishinaabe culture, language. It doesn't give you a lot of context, which is fantastic and important. And I'm actually surprised by the high rating of this, because a lot of Indigenous lit that I've read, when you go to the Goodreads, it's a lot of people who have found it, essentially white reviewers, saying like, this didn't cater to me and didn't explain things in a way that I could understand, didn't walk me through it, didn't give me like textbook definitions of all of this stuff. And it's a really frustrating thing to see. So I'm excited that people are picking this up and really enjoying it. Sorry, Liam's playing Wordle beside me and is distracting. Yeah! Look at him go. He got the Wordle. Your phone is dirty. Okay, my point was the storytelling in here is something that could be unfamiliar to some people. It's told in like poetry fragments, and it's very interesting, but hard to talk about like the plot. We're following a bunch of different characters who represent different things. Something that I love in a lot of Indigenous lit is just like this idea of the physical world and the spiritual world both being in it. And in this we have like a character who represents a maple tree, a character who's a caribou. They all use they, them pronouns. And I'm like a third of the way in. It's very much vibes more so than plot. Anyway, we're going on our walk now, and this just feels like the appropriate hat for the day. I'm gonna have my book in one ear and Liam in the other. Okay, so as expected, talking about the plot is tough. I'm really excited that this challenge thing had something about Indigenous authors. Like, that's fantastic. And getting to read from an Indigenous author for this video is great, and getting to talk about my love for Indigenous lit. This is very much a style that I enjoyed, and we got to see some recurring characters. I still really need to read this one, and I know there are some references that work between these as well. But the story itself is more just like the relationships between all of these characters, and just ideas, perspective on like living in, how does it describe it? The unnatural urban settler world, navigating a world where your community has been historically excluded and continues to be. It talks about consumerism. It's a little funny. It's really not like any other book I've read before, and it's hard to sum up. It's a 4.5 right now, but I'm going to reread it. I think the physical experience and the audio experience were both good, but I want to actually like redo one of those. And it might be the audiobook, just because like this type of storytelling is so well appreciated in like oral storytelling. And now I don't want to look at this because I don't want to be spoiled for what I'm going to pick next. But I think it was this one, right? Yeah, in a place I've never read from before. Walking down that part of the road. I hadn't done that while reading before. Oh my gosh! It's a typewriter keychain. That's cute. I like this. Check it out. And now we'll look at what I think is a bookmark. This one was reading from an Indigenous author. Oh, cute. Okay, it's a very little bookmark. And this is cute. This is the size of bookmark that like Liam would probably appreciate. I'm gonna open 2 more and hope that they're also a good pair of like an activity and a book. And then I'm gonna open some packages because I do have something good. Okay, let's pick our next one. What do we, oh God. I'm trying to think like what could be in these. This one's thick, it feels like Post-its. Oh God, what does it say? Attend an author event? Attend an author event. Oh no! Who's having an author event today? I'm not in person. No. Okay, I will do that. I will look up what authors I know are doing a virtual event. But I need a reading challenge. So let's go to the top. I feel good about something up here. I'm trying to figure out what's going to be in these. What's this little one? Maybe this little one feels good. Read a book in a genre you've never read before? I'm sorry. What? What do you mean? I knew I got too lucky with that first win. Okay, well, my TBR shelf is organized by like anthologies, speculative, anything that isn't those things, or YA. Thrillers are up there. I was determined to read one of these 3 books this weekend. I just want to tell you that like if any prompt came up that would let me fit one of these in, I was gonna pick it. But like these are genres that I've read a lot. But I feel like I can make something work for this. Like, okay, I've read an anthology before. I've read a book about vampires before, but I've never read a vampire anthology before, right? This book refers to itself as creative nonfiction, which I've never seen as a descriptor. Like maybe I've read it before, but I've never heard a book described that way. And then this book, I didn't realize was translated. I don't read a lot of translated works, which isn't a genre, but this one says it's a psychological horror. And I don't think I've ever read a translated psychological horror. So like we could make up a genre. Obviously I could go to the library and I could pick out anything, but I do want to read off of my TBR shelf. Like I don't want this experimental video to go too experimental. I take it back. I just went and looked at my bookshelves and I think you would call this a psychological horror and it's been translated. And these I think you would call creative nonfiction. That's not like technically what they say when you open up the flap, but like that's what they are. Taking real life stories and like making fictionalized scenes to go along with the story. I'm not about to read a vampire anthology. Why is that the only thing I can think of? Why did I even pull that? Like you wouldn't have thought of it. You wouldn't have said, hey Kayla, obviously your vampire anthology. Oh my God. This is not how I thought the video was gonna go. This is 233 pages. I like to read short stories like slowly throughout the day, so I do also want to pick one other book to read because later tonight while I'm just lying in bed I could complete an entire novel. So I think I'm gonna pull one more challenge, but I'm gonna open some packages first. One of them is right here and it's from Bonfire. If you know, you know. It is my book club merch. I can't believe it's here. I have been seeing everybody tag me for days. So I ordered 2 things. I ordered the gray t-shirt and the navy blue hoodie, and this is so crisp. If you missed out, I will be doing another launch of these in other colors come like summer. I'm just gonna wait to see what their stock looks like because not everything was available in every size. I wanted the green, and everything that I'm seeing that people are tagging me in, they bought the green one, and I almost went back and did another purchase, but I decided to just like see what the size and everything was gonna be before I ordered a third thing. So if you ordered something, thank you so much for supporting the book club. I love seeing everybody in their stuff. Oh my god, I'm so happy. I wonder if next time I should do one with like a little logo or make this a little bit smaller. Let me know. Let me know if you would order merch like a second time and what you would want different, if anything. I'll go grab the other package though. I also got this box, and I'm prepared to be like disappointed or it not to be what I'm expecting because I'm just confused by the size of it. I'm expecting one book from Tor, like my most anticipated book in the world. Maybe there's just something along with it. It says, "Dear reader, thank you for taking another trip along the improbable road with me." Ah! Oh, it's a candle. Doesn't smell like anything. Oh my god, I'm about to die. Oh, it's Seasonal Fears. How do I not read this immediately and keep going with this weekend vlog theme? I actually would like to wait until closer to the release day to read that one, so I don't know. This might be the last book that we read, so it's gotta be a good one. What do we think? I took a couple from this page, right? And then one from this page. So maybe the one in the corner? Can you read it? Because I can't. Participate in a book club, in person or virtually. That seems fake that I just picked that right after I put on my book club merch. How do I participate in my own book club? By reading the book for my book club that I haven't finished yet? That would be smart, but I want to wait until near the end of the month. Wait, maybe I can find a book club somewhere on the internet that's reading one of these. These all just came out. Somebody has to be reading these. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. What would I search? What would I search? I'd like hashtag Finley Donovan knocks him dead and see if anybody's doing something. Okay, so I was just looking through Instagram to see if there was anything for Recitatif, and I found out it's Toni Morrison's birthday today. I didn't know that. So this feels like the only answer now. And I'm just gonna pretend that Monty, who I just saw read this, I haven't watched his vlog yet. I've had to skip a couple of Monty's recent vlogs because he's reading stuff that I am reading this month, and I'm just worried about being spoiled for anything. So we're just gonna pretend there's a book club last week and now I'm reading it for the book club. There actually is quite a few different like Toni Morrison read-alongs going on this month. One, they're using the hashtag BHMTMRA, Black History Month Toni Morrison read-along. It's also Blackathon, the readathon all month. So not so much a book club, but a readathon, read along. There are events I can partake in that are talking about Toni Morrison. I can now watch some vlogs that talk about this book specifically. And we could also pretend that Libro FM, if they had a book club, this is one of their ALCs this month, which is one of the audiobooks that they offer for free to like, what am I, an influencer? I don't know. So we can pretend that we're in a book club for that too. So I have some other things to do, some filming for other videos today, and I'll probably pop back in at the end of the night with my progress on these two, and hopefully I can open some of the things and find out what was in them. I'm having a very productive day. I feel like time is moving very slowly. It's only 4:30. I read this. It's very short. I read a couple chapters of this just so I felt like I was participating in my own book club. I still like it. It's still slow. I'm still waiting for it to kick off. I've eaten some Doritos, and I read 2 stories from Vampires Never Get Old. And I love that I'm reading this just because I recently talked about how I keep picking up anthologies and then not reading them. So this can count for the month of February. I was gonna start reading one a month, and so it's already going great. The first story was by Tessa Granton, and I gave it 4 stars, and then the second story was by Rebecca Roanhorse, and I gave it 5 stars. And it's cool because there's a little in-between page between the stories from the editors, just talking about something like vampire related. So it's like giving a little history, kind of critiquing different things. And the whole idea of this collection is like to interrogate your experience with vampire stories, the ones that you've seen a lot, how they're pretty like male, cis, able-bodied, hetero-focused, even though there's queer subtext a lot of the time. I was not like a Twilight girly. I wasn't into Dracula. But then I picked up some more like unconventional vampire-y stories over the past couple years. These all involve vampires in some way. And then I also read A Dowry of Blood, but I picked this up after reading like that stack, and I really enjoyed Rebecca Roanhorse's, although I love her in general. Who else is in here? Kayla Whaley, Mark Oshiro, Danielle Clayton, Victoria Schwab. So I'm excited to continue with this, but I definitely want another book going, so I'm gonna pick something else. Speaking of Monty, they are doing reading sprints right now. So I read Recitatif. During that, I'm gonna pop back in, maybe read a couple more vampire stories or start something new. And this was really interesting. I know it says that there's an introduction by Zadie Smith, but you guys, half of the book is the introduction. And it doesn't feel like an introduction, it feels like a book review, and I would almost recommend reading it after the story, although I'm sure a lot of people have like read this story and now they're revisiting, so it's actually good to read the introduction first. But it basically sums up like what Toni Morrison was doing with this story, because the story is so short. It's her only short story. I'm so excited. I'm reading on her birthday. That's so crazy. So this is about a Black woman and a white woman, but we don't know which is which, and it's not supposed to be the type of story. Like, I know I've read books in the past that are like not like this, but the thing that's coming to mind is like you know, I've read books where we're following one character who's a serial killer and one who's just like a regular lady, but we don't know which perspective is which. And then I've also read books where like one character is an assassin and one is a prince or something, and you don't know until into the book like which is which. This isn't like that. Like, you're not supposed to try to figure out who is who, and that question is not answered by the end. It's just a really interesting exploration of perception. It's like an experiment on the reader of like what we interpret each character to be, because that is the point of the book, is to give little like clues to who's who, but it's more about your interpretation and your own bias, because it'll like describe a character in one certain way. And even how the book is written, one of the characters, we have Twyla and Roberta, and one of them is writing in like first person. And so Zadie Smith starts out her introduction talking about how if you look at statistics and you ask a bunch of Black folks, they will say that the main character writing in first person is the Black character. And if you ask a bunch of white folks, they will say that the white character is the first person narrator. But then also, just because Toni Morrison is a Black woman, you naturally want to associate that character with the author. And race plays a big role in their lives, but we never know like their identity. We know their identities outside of that. You know, growing up in broken homes and being mothers and just having to exist in this world. And I actually don't think I would have picked up on a lot of themes that Zadie Smith talked about if it wasn't like described to me. And Bonnie Turpin, my favorite narrator, narrates this, which is very cool. I honestly don't know what I would have rated this if I just read the story by itself. I think it would be like a 4, but as a package with the introduction, it's a 5. Like, this is one of my favorite reading experiences I've ever had. I just found it so interesting, and it's such a short, like, obviously it's short, but it's like such a short moment in their lives that we're even discussing. There's like one event that happens when they're living in this shelter together. There's this woman named Maggie, and they both like remember her differently, and how the girls at the shelter like bullied her and their role in that. I'm just so glad I read this. 5 stars. And now I don't remember, oh no, I don't remember where this was. Wasn't it down here? Oh shoot, it was one of the ones at the bottom. Liam! Can you find the one in here that says something about a book club?
This one.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
What are they?
They're little prizes. Once I complete a reading challenge, I get to open it, but I don't want to look at the other ones.
Oh, it's so nice.
It's a little notepad. Do you want to see the other ones I got? I got a bookmark, and I got a thingamajig. Oh, you know what would be fun?
What?
How about you read these and you pick a challenge for me that you think I could complete easily, like in one day from something.
Attended an author event. No, I'm joking.
That's so funny because I pulled that one earlier. Like if you look at my
Read a
bookshelves.
book.
Are you picking this?
Yeah. Read a book published this year.
Which one is that?
It's this one.
This one? Maybe I can mix that with something else. Like if there's any challenges that don't have to do with the book. Like
read a graphic novel. Wait. Oh, I get that one because I've already done that.
You haven't started it yet, right?
I finished it.
You already finished it?
Yeah.
Okay, something published this year. Guess what that is? Finley Donovan. I just really wanted to vlog this one, and I can't think of any other video in the next couple weeks that this can like fit into. So this will be my novel for the night. Final check-in of the night. I'm very sleepy. I haven't finished anything since I've talked to you, but I read 2 more stories from the vampire book. It was a while ago now. I don't remember the ratings, but I wrote it on the little post-its. I'll check in the morning. It's out of my reach. I'm not getting back out of bed. I'm going to sleep. But I read 50 pages of Finley. I'm gonna read 50 more and play Wordle before I fall asleep. And then I have a lot to read tomorrow. I really like it so far. It's very meta and I love it because like Finley is writing a book. In the first book she wrote a book, and in the second book she's writing a sequel, and so she'll say things that are like reminiscent of the actual book we're reading. So like her agent will say, well, what happened to this character? Why isn't this character in the sequel? Your readers love that character in the first book. And it's like true in this book that I'm physically reading, because like there are characters who were in the first book who aren't in this one. And it's just all very funny, and she's still flying by the seat of her pants. The drama hasn't really kicked off yet, but there's some ominous things that are coming up, and it's fun. And I will see you in the morning. Hello, we are exactly 24 hours into the 48-hour reading vlog, so halfway through. Here's my progress with my current reads. I am 1/3 of the way, maybe a little more, through Finley, and I love it. I love it so much. I've heard that the audiobook is good, but I don't want to risk like my perfect enjoyment because I didn't listen to the first one via audio at all. And I don't think that's a contributing factor, but like I just like keeping it the way that I'm reading it. But I want an audiobook going while I organize my bookshelves today. So this is going well, but I'm taking a pause on it until later tonight. I love it, like love it. It's continually ridiculous. Like Finley is not getting smarter throughout the series, and I just love that about her. I'm also having a good time with the Vampires anthology. Julie Murphy's was a 4-star. Heidi Heilig's was a 4-star. Oh, and Samira Ahmed's was also a 4-star, but then Kayla Whaley's was a 5. And right now I'm halfway through the editor's story that they wrote together. These are just a mix of fun and I think like cathartic experiences. Like for Kayla Whaley, she talks about a character in a wheelchair, and much like in real life, there's a lot of angering things about being referred to as wheelchair bound, and that like her life isn't worth living. And so I think it's important for these stories to be told, and to be told in a respectful way. Like after reading Disfigured, which talked a lot about how like magical healing is a really frustrating thing for disabled people to read. So when the character becomes a vampire, not everything is just magically healed, but there still is a life to be living, even though she's undead. So it's like fun and interesting. I'm home alone for the entire afternoon. We had a good family evening together out, a family morning, and now the boys left to check out the new Costco because there's a new Costco they just built. Apparently that's the most thrilling thing to go hang out in. And then they're going to hockey. So I'm just hanging out alone. But before Rob left, I told him to pick 2 challenges for me. One that was like an activity and one that was a book. And I'm hoping that the things that he selected, he put little post-its on it for me. I hope that those things I can put together somehow and make it work for an audiobook, and then listen to an audiobook for the next couple hours. But we'll see what he chose. He said the post-its aren't very sticky, so I need to be careful when opening this. Okay, so he has one post-it here and one post-it here. I'm doing a really good job of just like avoiding this entire book and not spoiling anything for myself. Maybe at the end of it, I will look at the book and pick a challenge for myself. If there's time to read one more thing, maybe tomorrow. So he selected he's a fucking asshole. Oh, I see what he's doing here. I get it. He picked reread a book you read as a child because I'm currently filming my 10th grade rereading childhood favorites video. right now. I've already filmed reading a couple of the books, and now I'm doing this weekend vlog, so I have something to post in between, and then I will complete the rest of the books next week. So he thought he was doing me a favor by picking a challenge that I could do, but unfortunately, if I read that for this vlog, I wouldn't be reading it for the next vlog. Thank you so much, husband of mine. But no. Let's see what this one was. Listen to a reading themed podcast? I thought I was gonna say listen to an audiobook. And I was like, oh, you did it. Listen to a reading themed podcast. Okay. Rob, I know you're watching this vlog. This is not helpful. Listening to a reading themed podcast would take away from the time that I would be reading. This vlog is about reading. You can't listen to a podcast whilst reading. Don't get me wrong, I love a book podcast, and I guess I could do that while organizing my bookshelves. There's no reason why he would have thought that those challenges wouldn't be fun for me to complete. Oh, side note, the one about a virtual author event, El Casamano has one tomorrow. So I'm gonna make sure I finish the book and then I can attend a virtual author thing, which I don't think I've ever really done. Okay, I'm just picking 2 new challenges. Someone's gonna be mad at me. I had him put pink Post-its on the ones that I was already working on. I told him out loud so he could mark them for me so I didn't pick them again. He's very nice. Please don't think I'm being mean to him. Okay, what do I want to do? That one, this one, that one. Did I do that one? There's nothing in it. It doesn't have a pink Post-it. Okay, I'm gonna go to this one. Why do I keep trying to open them? Okay. Oh yeah, that one was the graphic novel. The one above it is read a book about a person with a disability. Hey, I just did that. And I just talked about that. Do I get to see what's in it? It feels like an eraser. Is it an eraser? Eat, sleep, read. Is it a magnet? What are you? Okay, let me pick another. Oh God. This one feels thick. Oh, make or order a snack or meal described in a book you read. I knew there was something about food. Okay, well, I guess blood. Okay, I'll just have to keep an eye out in my next read, something related to food. So, I still need to find, what if it's not about books? What if it's another activity? Oh my God. I'm always like leaning towards the corners. I just want to complete all the corner ones. I'm gonna do this one. Or, oh, it's very flat. Okay, well this one is thick and this one is skinny. So I'm going to read a novella. A short novel typically under 200 pages. I can do that. Actually, that'd be good for listening to while I organize my bookshelves. But what do I want to read? A lot of my shorter things are poetry. This is a short story collection. I guess I kind of already read a novella. Maybe I should just count this. No. These two seem like the right thing. That's 175 pages. This one's 140. This one I can fit into a future video. This one I don't have a video planned for. But this one doesn't have an audiobook. But I really do want to read Gods of Filth. I just bought it and it's calling to me. I'm in love with the cover. Like I might have put this on my TBR originally because of the cover. And there might be some strange food in here. Oh, and then Rob can bring it home for me. Or is that asking too much of my husband? Okay, you know what? I'm gonna listen to a podcast. I'm gonna do my shelves. I'll read this after. Actually, there might also be an audiobook for the vampire book and that I could listen to like a couple stories. With that, a bit of a bookish podcast, okay? This video is so messy. I did it. I listened to my friend Wheezy's podcast. I've talked about her before. She did Southern Gal Reads, and now her podcast has rebranded to A Southern Voice, and I had listened to her 2021 like reading wrap up, which is her latest episode. It was only 16 minutes, but it was wonderful getting to hear about favorites of the year and some stats. The bookshelf is done, and then I listened to Laura Ruby's story, which was like a 3 or 4, and then Mark Oshira's story, which was probably a 3, and now I'm on to Danielle Clayton's, and then I only have one more after that. So I wasn't in the mood to completely reorganize, but I just cleaned it up, so it's the same way. This entire shelf is fantasy, horror, speculative, sci-fi. This middle one is thrillers. The left one is just realistic or historical or anything else, and then the very left one is like nonfiction, short stories, plays, poetry. There are definitely things that are in the wrong spot. Let me just back up here so you can see like the whole view. And people always ask like, have I run out of space yet? Or they assume because my shelves are messy, I've run out of space. And that's just not the case. I have multiple layers of books, and I still have shelves that have completely emptiness behind them. Oh, that one's empty. But this is what it looks like when I fill them all in. I finished this. And then it's funny because I watched Gabby's vlog right after, and she just said the same thing that I was thinking, which was it was easy to get distracted while reading this book. Like I kept putting it down, picking it up, and it wasn't really holding my attention the same way the first book was. I was watching her vlog because I was hoping she would talk about something that confused me in here, but she didn't, so whatever. I've been catching up on YouTube. There have been some good things posted this weekend. Well, good for me. Jen and E posted a video where she read some of my favorite books, which was so interesting. And Rincey also did a Wordle video where she read a book because of the word of the day. And that was really fun. I finished my book and I thought it was really good. 4 stars. It was a fun time, but not as fun as the first book. A lot happened really quickly, and because I'm gonna have to wait another year for the 3rd book in the series, I'm sure, like I'm gonna forget everything that happened in here. There were a lot of characters introduced. A lot of things were connected. I feel like you have to go into this series, if you haven't started it yet, think of it like the 5th season of a TV show that has just jumped the shark, and like this series is what comes after that. At this point, it's all just gimmicks. Everything that can happen has happened. It's over the top. It's overly convenient. It's all just completely ridiculous. Anyway, a proper review or plot discussion of that is impossible because it's the 2nd book in a series. But I'm gonna open this one right here and see what's in it. Ooh. Oh, it's more Post-its. Oh, but these ones aren't ones that you like write on. They're just colorful little tabs that you would stick in for like important moments. This is actually like my favorite size of Post-it. Oh wait, there's a second one in there. Brilliant. So this is like a good moment. This is just like an interesting moment. Cool, I'll use those. I'm about to wrap up the last 2 stories in here. I'm probably gonna leave this for the morning, but I'm now going to look at everything in here and just see if there's anything else that I can make happen tomorrow, or that I've already completed and I should just be able to have my prize. I still haven't done the food thing, but I kept track of the foods that were mentioned in here. So we had Cherry Garcia Ben & Jerry's. We had mentions of Panera, Stroganoff, pot roast, and then snickerdoodles. And then the only food I remember in here was potato salad. So I will try to go find snickerdoodles tomorrow or make them if nothing else shows up in here that I can do. So this one will remain a mystery until tomorrow. But here's the ones that I missed. Find and read a book that is much longer than your usual reads. Good thing I didn't pick that. That would have been overwhelming. Write a letter to someone who has influenced your reading life. This could be a parent, teacher, author, bookstore owner, or friend. It's okay to make it anonymous. Read a book you selected purely based on its cover design. I was just saying that about this. I haven't read it yet though, so I can't open it. And it feels like more Post-its. Read a classic you hated in high school. Oh, reread a classic. Glad I didn't pick that. Visit your local bookstore and ask a bookseller to recommend a book based on your recent favorites. Oh, that could have been fun. Maybe I'll have to save some of these and not open them, and we have to do another weekend reading vlog where I complete the whole book. Oh, I didn't even realize like this is a whole one. I know I was touching it, but I didn't quite realize that it's a big pocket and then 2 little pockets. The big one is go to your favorite section of the library or bookstore, blindly take a book off the shelves and take it home to read. That's so fun. Okay, I'm gonna have to make that a whole vlog. Oh, and then this one is read a book that's been sitting on your shelf unread for more than a year. No, these were recent buys. The other one was a recent buy. The other was a library book. Get a copy of your favorite book. Oh, gift a copy of your favorite book to a friend or family member. Special occasion not required. Read a book currently on a bestseller list. This is the one I've really wanted to open because, like, I know it's a pencil, but I still want to see it. This or Recitatif has to be on a bestseller list right now. Yeah, okay, Recitatif is. I hope it's cute. How do I get it out? Brevity is the soul of wit. William Shakespeare. Okay. I mean, sure. Is it cute? No. Ask a family member what book has made a lasting impression on them. Find and read that book. Read a book from an author whose ethnicity is different from your own. I did that. Oh, yay! This feels like more post-it notes. Although it said something about book plates and coasters. Okay. Yeah, I guess that's a book plate. Stick in your book. I feel like the things in the pockets are not matching the design of the book. Oh, sorry, there was more book plates. There was a selection of them. Technically, I reread a childhood favorite like a couple days ago, so I'm just gonna count that as a win. Book darts. His dog-eared pages are too controversial. This is a cool idea. Oh, and I listened to the podcast. This is a button. I can feel it. Is it cute? It's simple. It matches the pencil and the post-its. It says the book was better. I feel like this is a little small. Most of the cost of the book is the book itself. Well, I was gonna say you're gonna toss this, but I guess you can just refill it and, like, oh, it could be this cute thing that you give to your friends and they give to their kids, and, like, you can put whatever you want in these little pockets and then it can just keep being gifted. Okay, and I don't have a family member remaining who has had a book that has meant a lot to them that I haven't read by now. So let's, oh, is this the coaster? See, these match the design of the book. Ooh, look at the back. Just one more chapter. That's one of my only bookish quotes I actually like to have on, like, merch and things. Too many books, too little time. Keep calm and read on. And proud book nerd. These are cute. Okay, we are in the last couple hours of this reading vlog. I have 3 hours to go and I've completed everything. Last night I actually read the entirety of Goddess of Filth and it was good. I'm giving it 4 stars. As far as a possession story, I think it was pretty similar to ones I've read before, but then it didn't do anything like extra special. Like, it wasn't especially funny or scary or intriguing, but it was solid and I like a good friendship story. The only food that was mentioned in here, I remember them going to like some shitty taco place. They said specifically that it was like she was craving bad tacos. I don't really know what that looks like for my day. Considering this vlog is ending at lunchtime, I don't really know how to integrate food into here. But I thought it was a good story. Not enough really happened that it could be conducive to like a book club pick. I did want it to be one of the selections, but I'm kind of glad that it wasn't now. But I would still without a doubt recommend it. Fernanda is an interesting character. She's possessed and she comes like in and out of it, and it describes it as like an inhabitant, and she likes the inhabitant because it's making her step outside her comfort zone and like making her more confident, making her more in tune with her sexuality. But then, like, obviously it's doing sketchy things. There are some priests involved. They try to get her some help. There was a lot of talk about like being a Mexican woman, what that means, you know, how that identity affects the opportunities that you have and the way that you're treated. I think I would have liked to have more of the girls in it rather than it just focusing on like 2 main girls, but then it would have had to turn into like an entire full-length novel. Speaking of my incredibly pale face, I also finished this short story collection. Last 2 by Danielle Clayton and V.E. Schwab were both like 3.5 stars for me. I think that makes this whole thing have to be a 3.5 overall. But my favorite element is those little in between commentary slash reviews slash just contextual conversations from the editors. Because what Recitatif taught me is that I really like reading somebody analyzing the text that I'm reading, and like that's just also included in the book. The vampire stories had that element too, because they would pop in and be like, oh, traditionally, you know, vampires have to live in their coffins and you can't go into another coffin, and you know, just a little explanation of the history of like maybe why that author chose that story and how they turned that story into something else. And they're just one page, but they're really interesting, and I like seeing that breakdown. So that's the reason I ended up enjoying these, which is so weird. And I'd love to know if you have any recommendations of books that have something similar. Maybe that's why I like reading the Shakespeare plays that I've been reading, is because they also have that like aggressive amount of analysis and explanation. And this isn't meant to be a review for this whole thing, because something to keep in mind is that like the normal person is probably doing one of these like a month or opening one every couple months. Like this isn't something that you're meant to open all in one weekend and critique all of the little things like against each other and like hold them and just did these all, you know, equal up to the amount that I spent on this. Genre I've never read before. Vampire short story collection. This is a paper clip, but it's like a bookmark. It has a little cup of tea on it. It's very little. Okay, and then what was the other one? Oh yeah, read a novella. This one is, what is this? It's like a tag. Feels like something that's supposed to be like on a piece of luggage. There are a lot of books in here. It must be like for your bag. Oh my god, I only just realized that these like pictures on the back that I haven't looked too closely at, but they are the items inside. Wow, I'm very smart today. Yeah, and then the cover design one. Yes, okay, this is what I was just thinking. This is so cute. This is my favorite thing so far. I was thinking with like the book darts and this little thing, I wish that there was a magnet bookmark, because I have one like this that I really like. Totally matches with the theme of the book, and it's super cute. I will absolutely use this. Now, since I'm done all of my books, I do have 2 more things that I want to read by the end of the month. I thought since I have a couple hours left, I will read the first couple chapters of these books. And you won't get my full reviews, like I'm not going to finish them today, but I can give you my initial impression. And those are books that have been sent to me, Ophelia After All and Cherish Farah. So I'll spend the next couple hours checking out the beginning of these, and then I will attend the author event. Hopefully these mention some foods, and I can open that one because that's the one I really want to still open. Hopefully they just say something about Starbucks or avocado toast, because that's what I'm having for breakfast. And maybe I'll actually check out the audiobook of one of them. Rob is just running out to a job. He's on call this weekend, and Liam already had hockey early this morning, so neither of them are here to go on like our morning walk together. But I just bought this silly little walking platform. It's like a treadmill, and I know I'm just putting on my makeup because I'm about to film something really quick, but as soon as I'm done doing that, then I'll do my little in-house walk, and I'll check out the audiobooks, and I'll give you my thoughts. See you in a sec. Okay, it's 2 p.m. now. I was supposed to stop at 12, but I wanted to make sure that I attended an author event before opening the envelope. Elle has just gotten to like pitch Finley and talk about the book and her inspiration, and how Vero became such an unexpectedly important part of the story, which I think is cool. I hope there's going to be like a Q&A segment so I can ask if she knows their zodiac signs, because I'm so curious. So I listened to the first 50 pages of Ophelia After All, and I read physically the first 50 pages of Cherish Farah, and I can guarantee you I'm finishing both of those by the end of the month, because they're both very intriguing. I'll talk about them more in a second because I still have to cook something, but I'm gonna open up this thick one. What's it gonna be? Oh, it's washi tape. Cute.
My loves, turn.
Okay, it's very small and printed with bookish things. Cute. I like washi tape. Okay, be right back.
Yeah, I think the friendship element is so important, and that is
That's a really tough question, because part of mapping out the books, like I don't even know them. I would have to go
Darn
back
it.
and look them up and figure that out. So I will write down that question. I will try to put it in the FAQs on my website. Give me some time.
Okay, you can watch and listen to Rob play NHL while I tell you that attending author events is more fun than I thought. He didn't have an answer to my question. I also learned that it is a 4-book series right now, but she hopes that it could be like a 6-book series. So that's interesting. Also, there is a TV show in the works and they have cast Finley, and the producer for Pretty Little Liars is the one doing it. So that's crazy. Ophelia, after all, kicked off really nicely. It's with this girl in high school. There's a lot of mentions of roses. She wants to be a botanist and she's growing roses. And there was this scene where she talked about bananas, and I was like, okay, I could just go eat a banana and that'll fit for the food thing, because apparently they're great for growing roses. But then she talked about how her dad likes to take frozen bananas and make them into platanos maduros, which I think is just the word for cooking bananas. And I do have frozen bananas, but I've never fried a frozen banana, and that doesn't make me feel very confident. But then I looked up a recipe and it just said you need to use really overly ripe bananas, and I definitely have those. I'm supposed to cut them into inch chunks. This might actually be too ripe. Look, I also have these super ripe ones. I don't eat bananas until they look like this. I've definitely cooked bananas with like brown sugar or maple syrup or something, but all the recipes just say to put it in vegetable oil and then you can put salt on it after, or sugar. And I don't know if they're talking about bananas or plantains, but I'm just gonna do this and we're gonna count this for my food prompt. Right now they're like building up to prom. It seems very nice. There's a lot of food mentions and like Cuban cooking, and I love that so much. And look how well this bookmark I just got matches the colors of the cover. But this one that I already have is like almost the same as the flowers on it. So that's really cute. And then Cherish Farah is very interesting. It's like a slow social horror, and there's 2 black teenagers who are living with one of their like white adoptive families, and race is already playing a big role in the introduction period. I'm just interested to see where it goes, because right now Cherish's mom, like, being the white mother of a black daughter is much of her whole personality. It's very important to her. It's very important that she like learns everything she can and is seen as like an advocate. And just seeing the things that this is compared to, and how Farah living with them becomes more unsafe. Like, I'm just wondering what's gonna happen. There was already like these weird vibes where these girls are best friends, like they've been best friends forever. They sometimes get mistaken for each other. But then there was like this little moment where Farah was like, I could take one step and just shove Cherish down this entire flight of stairs. And I was like, okay. So let's make these bananas real quick. Okay, do I know the difference between this and Bananas Foster? No. But is it good? Yeah. The eye contact that you're making with me. Would you like one?
Nope.
I probably didn't make it right, but Rocky didn't give me directions. But that's also not her responsibility. Hey, would you like to open my final envelope for this vlog?
Sure. Tis a stamp with glasses.
A stamp? What am I gonna do with a stamp?
Probably stamp things.
Okay, interesting. I like that it's on theme.
What's the coolest thing you got so far?
I really liked a magnetic bookmark. I'm leaving a couple of these unopened, so I can't fully review this properly, but they are the things I was expecting, but also I think they could have been a little more fun to look at. And maybe like a little higher quality. Like the coasters could be a little thicker. The stamp could come with ink. The bookmarks could be a little bit bigger. I'm just not a good judge of is something worth the money, because worth it to me means like, did I make a fun video out of it? So I can't tell you if this is something you'll want to pick up, but I'm sure the comments will be full of opinionated humans with what they think of it. All right, thanks for hanging out with me this weekend. I read 4 books and started 2. I think it was very productive. I'm happy with what happened and I'm glad you were here. Bye.